Again, welcome to our Cyberwatch series for March. With this Cyberwatch series, we would like to create a threat intelligence community because this is the 6th edition of the Cyberwatch series. And there are some people I can see in this every webinar. They are trying to connect and learn more about this, what happened in the next month in the threat intelligence community in the cybersecurity, cyberspace. So with this webinar, with the 6th series, we thought maybe we can create a cyber threat intelligence community together, and we can inform each other. And with these opportunities provided by the SOCRadar, maybe we can shape our webinars based on your requests. We also want to create better webinars, free threat intelligence trainings. As you may know, we have a SOCRadar Academy. And in this academy, there's a one training, dark web training, which is for free, available for everyone who has the corporation emails, not the personal emails. So with these webinars, we would like to conduct a couple of surveys in the middle of the webinar. If you give us your 2 minutes for this surveys, based on your opinions, we would like to shape this webinar for better. Also, we would like to create some more free trainings for the threat intelligence. Also, we would like to create a community with you together, so we can think together, brainstorm what we can do, how we can connect. So if it is okay, in the middle of the webinar, there will be a survey. Please try to answer the questions based on your opinions. So we are not collecting any statistics, but just trying to learn which way to lead to create a better community. So without further ado, I would like to start the webinar with a new ransom demand record to show you how this business is getting more serious and crazy. In January, Royal Mail fell victim to the ransomware attack that distributed its operations when hackers gained access to their software and encrypted their files. The attack highlights the growing threat of cybercrime and the importance of taking proactive measures to prevent such incidents. The impact of the attack on the Royal Mail is significant, with customers initially being unable to send packages abroad, which has now caused week-long delays in the parcels being delivered internationally. The interesting thing is, in this ransomware attack, the Lockbit ransomware group, they demanded $80 million from the Royal Ransomware. This is a huge $80 million, or they will release a large amount of data. However, the negotiator who is speaking of the group on behalf of the Royal Mail has been rebuffed claims, and that they are only asking for the 0.5% of the company's revenue. The Lockbit later published this chat on their website. This is a screenshot from the Lockbit operates between the Lockbit operator and the Royal Mail representative. I'm sorry, I'm back, hopefully. Can you hear me now? I hope I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. My connection is lost. Thank you so much. So what was I talking about? The Lockbit group, they published a note. They said Royal Mail need a new negotiator. So with this negotiator, they rejected to pay $80 million. And after that, Lockbit published the data and the chat contacts between the operator, Lockbit operator, and the representative from the Lockbit, representative from the Royal Mail. When the Lockbit operator demanded $80 million ransom, as it is only 0.5% of the Royal Mail's revenue, the Royal Mail representative responded that under no circumstances we will pay you the absurd amount of money you have demanded. And he also added, I can't just tell the board to hurry up. From the Royal Mail perspective, the stolen data has already been leaked, irrespective of whether Lockbit publishes it or not. So as we emphasized in many times before, ransomware negotiations should be done only by the professionals, not by the amateurs. That's for sure.
And sorry for interrupt. Can you share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't change my screen.
Thank you.
Sure. Sorry about that. Okay, can you see it now? Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. So I was saying $80 million ransom demanded and rejected. As I said, we mentioned before many times, negotiations, especially with the high professional groups like Lockbit, is only for professionals. Not anybody should do that negotiation. So when you negotiate, please keep the following checklist in your mind. Make a contact with the hacking group, attacking group. Request a proof of data theft. You need a proof, first of all. Also, you need to request full list of the files and data. Also, you need to request for specific samples, where the sensitive data would be. You need to request for proof of ability to decrypt. You have to make sure they have the decryption key. You need to advise low-skilled and low authority in organization. You need to advise constant requirement for communication to go up to senior management. And you also advise constraints on the money. And you also need to advise the threat actors have bad intelligence and that the impacted assets are part of the different organization or subsidiary. You need to push for discounts, price reduction in relation to revenue. You need to advise that it is a big decision and it is with the board. You have to keep up with the board. It's not your only decision. You have to keep updating the threat actors with process, how it's going in the company, even if it is just to say we are waiting for the board response. You all the time have to keep the update the ransomware operators, what's going on inside your company. And you have to also set expectations of likely decision-making times. So this is a new record for the ransomware. I believe in the near future, these amounts are going to be getting more high. You already know, I guess, the Emotet malware they used in the past, but Emotet is back after 3 months break. The Emotet malware operation is again spamming malicious emails as of Tuesday morning after 3 months break, rebuilding its network and infecting devices worldwide. As you know, Emotet is a notorious malware distributed through email containing malicious Microsoft Word and Excel documents attachments. When users open these documents and macros are enabled, the Emotet DLL will be downloaded and loaded into memory. Once Emotet is loaded, the malware will sit quietly, waiting for instructions from the remote command and control server. Instead of using reply chain emails like in the previous campaign, the threat actors are utilizing emails that pretend to be invoices. So if you get an email, it says there's an invoice in the attachments, please be much more careful. That could be Emotet malware. They attach these emails are zip archives containing infiltrated Word documents that are over 500 megabytes in size. This is particularly important because they are padded with the unused data to make the files larger and harder for the antivirus solutions to scan and detect the malicious codes. These Microsoft Word documents use Emotet's red round document, as you can see on the screen. They use this template most of the time. So if you see any thing like this, you can be much more suspicious about the email, prompting users to enable content on the document to see it correctly. These documents contain a mass of macros that will be downloaded to Emotet Loader as a DLL from compromised sites, many of which are hacked WordPress blogs. When downloaded, Emotet will be saved in random named folder under %local app data % and launch using regcvr32.exe. Like the Word documents, this is also important. The Emotet DLL has been also padded to be a 526 megabyte to hinder the ability to detect it malicious by any antivirus software. One other thing, it's back is sys update. Sys update is also a very important malware. They upgraded their version and now it's more dangerous. You maybe heard of the Lucky Mouse threat actor. They are very famous for utilizing malware families such as Hyperbro, PlugX. In previous webinar, we talked about the PlugX, I believe. And now they upgraded the system sys update. And this group has recently launched a campaign that involved compromising legitimate apps to perform its malicious practices. But with Lucky Mouse's role in this, the malware can do much more now. This threat actor, knowing in the wild, Bronze Union, Iron Tiger, Emissary Panda, maybe you heard of their allies' names. Recently, they upgraded their sys update arsenal to make it even more dangerous. This sys update is capable of performing following practices once it takes root within the device. It can service manager, list starts, stops, and delete services, screenshot grab, process manager, browses and terminates processes, drive information retrieval, file manager, finds, deletes, renames, uploads, downloads a file, and browse the directory, command execution, and one feature that hasn't been seen yet in the malware is it now uses the C and C communication through DNSTX request. While it's in the communication protocol and not supposed to be, Lucky Mouse abuses its send and receive data. Lucky Mouse has been terrorizing big companies for quite some time now. Apparently, threat actors in the group have been developing an interest in gambling companies. So recently, most of the companies they're targeting are in the gambling industry. While it hasn't reached a Mac iOS yet, it sure does have the potential to be a cross-platform toolkit. The only indicates that it might be heading to the Mac devices next. So currently they are targeting Microsoft devices, but Mac devices are next. That's what we can analyze from their attacks. One important topic I'd like to bring your attention is the fake GPT apps. As you know, threat actors are exploiting the popularity of OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot to distribute malware for Windows and Android or direct unsuspecting victims to phishing pages. ChatGPT gained immense traction since its launch in November 2002, becoming the most rapidly growing consumer application in modern history with more than 100 million users by January 2023. This massive popularity of rapid growth forced OpenAI to throttle the use of the tool and launch a $20 per month paid tier, ChatGPT Plus, they call it, for individuals who want to use the chatbot with no availability restrictions. The move created conditions for the threat actors to take advantage of the tool's popularity by promoting uninterrupted and free of charge access to premium ChatGPT. The offers are false, of course, as you can imagine, and the goal is to lure users into installing malware or providing accounts credentials. Also, a website promoted, as you can see on here, the website also promoted by a Facebook page that uses official ChatGPT logos to trick the users into getting redirected to the malicious website. We also spotted fake ChatGPT apps being promoted on the Google Play and third-party Android app stores to push dubious software onto the people's devices. when it comes to the fake apps, it discovered over 50 malicious applications that uses the ChatGPT's icon and a similar name, all of them being fake and attempting to harmful activities on user devices. Please keep in mind that ChatGPT is exclusively an online-based tool available only at the chat.openai.com and does not offer any mobile or desktop application for any operating system at the moment. So any other apps or sites claiming to be ChatGPT are fakes attempting to scam or infect with malware and should be considered at least suspicious, and users should avoid them. Okay, I'd like to give a little break. As I mentioned, we are bringing some questions to your attention. As I mentioned, we are trying to create a cyber threat intelligence community with you all, and your opinions are very important for us. There are some steps for this community. We like to create better webinars for you. We like to create free cyber threat intelligence trainings for you. And together we can maybe decide doing brainstorm how we can shape this community. So please just give us 2 minutes of yours for the survey, and we will continue the rest of the webinar. Okay, I guess we can continue. Thank you taking time to filling the survey. We are much appreciated. So another thing I'd like to bring your attention is still Clover is an attack group that has been inactive since at least 2019. They're not new, but since the beginning of the January 2023, there has been a sharp increase in incident of malware downloads via Google Ads. Various changes have been observed in the still Clover to date, and attack methods are being updated daily, and the attack flow is also changing. But the following is based on the attack by the fake GPG campaign observed in early February 2023. So what they do is they use Google Ads, of course. They use the Google Ads maybe displayed at the top of the search results page when a user searches for some keywords from Google search. And we also mentioned about the Google searches, how they can be dangerous in the previous webinar, if you remember. But again, this is another tactic used by Still Clover. A growing number of attacks, not just Still Clover, starts from the Google Ads that appear when you search for the name of the well-known software. So we have to be very careful with this ads, Google Ads, because links could be dangerous for all of us. As shown in the image, malicious advertisements redirecting the Still Clover's malicious files distribution to the site are displayed higher than legitimate size, and user may accidentally access them. So far, we have confirmed more than 50 types of malicious file distribution sites by Still Clover, not just limited to fake GPG campaigns, but also other campaigns. There's one threat actor. Actually, this threat actor is not new, but when I bring some threat actors or tactics or other things as a new to you, What I mean most of the time is maybe they did some operations in the past. They're not new. But when I bring your attention, that means they are getting very popular or famous or getting very dangerous. And this is the one of the campaign I like to bring your attention. APTC 35, that's the APT group. They also known as Donut, is an overseas APT organization from South Asia. It mainly conducts cyber espionage activities against the government agencies mostly, and they mostly steal the sensitive information from these organizations. The organization's attack activities can be tracked back to 2016, but recently they are getting more famous or dangerous, however you like to say. In recent years, the organization's activities have been frequent, and it has been continuously tracked and disclosed by several domestic and foreign security teams. During this round of attack, the APTC-35, they also need brain-worm organization used a large number of malicious PPT and XLS documents as carriers to carry out attacks. The file is document carrying malicious macros. When opened, the victims will prompted to enable macros, and the macros are encrypted, so the victim cannot view the macro information. Once the macro code is executed, a message box will pop up first time, making the user think that the document is wrong. The technique is particularly common in APTC-35. You can see some lists they are attacking. They have a list, some of them published. As you can see, high profile government employees are the target of the APTC-35. There's also one new campaign. Recently, this campaign is getting also very famous and drawing attentions. Our research team observed a new campaign targeting, again, government organizations, mostly in which the threat actors utilize a new command and control framework named Havok. While C2 framework are prolific, the open source Havok framework is an advanced post-exploitation command and control framework capable of bypassing the most current and updated version of Windows 11 Defender due to the implementation of advanced evasion techniques such as indirect syscall and the sleep obfuscation. The infection chain utilized by the threat actors for delivering the Havok daemon on the target machines commences with a zip archive named 02.zip. 02.zip consists of two files, character.scr and untitled document.docx. The Havok C2 framework campaign highlights the importance of proper cybersecurity measures in today's digital world, the use of payloads and the CNC servers to execute malicious commands and gather sensitive information showcases the ever-present threat of cyber attacks. The scenario described in the this scenario, as you can see on the screen, that demonstrates the capabilities of such campaigns and the need for organizations to stay vigilant and protect their systems. With the rise of technology, the need for robust security solutions becomes increasingly vital, and an organization must take proactive steps to ensure the safety of their system and data. There is also one new technique I like to mention about this. This is a very interesting and very, how can I say, good technique, actually, to say. In this technique, threat actors using some geolocations tools and to fool the victims. In global marketplace, the ability geo-target is huge, as you know. Essentially, it means that the business can tailor their advertising to the recipient's location. Someone in New York may get a different ad than someone in France, and that makes the ads more valuable for businesses and more personalized for consumers. As you all know, mostly Google can do that. When you talk about something, they immediately send you the advertisements based on your conversation or your location. So advertisement companies do this most of the time. They send you the customized ads to more profit. So there's another group of people who wants to personalize their offering, are hackers. They also allows hackers to send one message to different peoples across the globe, providing geo-specific phishing content. This allows the threat actor to send custom phishing by language and region to their intended target. In this attack, hackers redirect users via GeoTargetly, a geotargeting platform. It's a website, GeoTargetly, and prove them with customized, localized phishing pages. When the user clicks on the See Compared, the end users will be redirected to a page with a link that's redirected on the GeoTargetly. As I said, GeoTarget is a legitimate website that allows advertisers to redirect users to pages and ads in their local markets. For example, a New York-based viewer would get something in English localized to New York. Someone in France will get the page in French. So in the previous screen, as you can remember, the original email starts in Colombia. And so if the users in Colombia, they will be redirected to the Colombian government lookalike page. Here's where it goes. If they are in Argentina, they will be redirected to the Argentinian page, and so on. And the original email is essentially about the local traffic ordinance, which may be not enough to get people to click. However, the email itself is not what's interesting. The interesting thing is the ability of hackers to customize their attacks by region and to attack multiple users in the multiple parts of the world at once. Using GeoTargetly redirect, hackers can create a phishing link that redirects users in the certain region to fake login page that looks like identical to the original one. This personalization increases the chance of the user falling for the attack. The redirect is legitimate and the content would be relevant to their religion and region. This has their language and region. I'm sorry, not religion. Their language and region. This has increased the likelihood of the spray and pray our working style and would allow hackers to operate on global nature seamlessly. There was one, we can say, some sort of critical flaw in Bitwarden. If you use password manager like me, like Bitwarden or other password managers, Bitwarden is one of the most used password managers in the world, and this flow is important. That's why I want to talk about this flow a little bit. If you are using Bitwarden, you need to be careful. As you know, Bitwarden is, again, a popular open source password management service with a web browser extension that stores secrets like account usernames and passwords in encrypted vault. So mostly Bitwarden keeps the credentials for you. When its users visit a website, the extension detects if there's a stored login for the domain and offers to fill the credentials. If the autofill option is enabled, it fills them automatically upon the page load without users having to do anything. While analyzing Bitwarden, Flashpoint researchers discovered that the extension also autofills form defined in embedded iframes, even those from external domains. While the embedded iframes does not have access to any content in the parent page, it can wait for input to the login form and forward the entered credentials to the remove server without further user instruction. Bitwarden also highlights that the autofill feature is potential risk and even includes a prominent warning in its documentation, specifically mentioning that the likelihood of compromise starts abusing the autofill feature to steal credentials. Bitwarden accepts iframe autofilling because many popular websites use this model. For example, iCloud uses an iframework from apple.com. Bitwarden also states that the feature described for autofill in the blog post is not enabled by default in Bitwarden, and there is a warning message on that feature for exactly this reason within the product and within the help of documentation. So for further information, maybe you can visit the Bitwarden's website, because as I said, this is not that much critical. Bitwarden said this is not enabled by default, and you'll get the warning message if something this happens, but it is better to go their website and check what is the exact situation. This is my last slide. Enigma stealer targets cryptocurrency industries with fake jobs. In previous webinars, we also talked about the fake jobs. They are trying to fool the victims for malicious content. We recently found an active campaign that uses the fake employment pretext targeting Europeans in the cryptocurrencies industries to install the information stealer. In this campaign, the suspected Russian threat actors used several highly sophisticated and under development custom loaders to infect those involved in the cryptocurrency industry with the Enigma stealer. Enigma uses two servers in its operations. The first utilizes Telegram for delivering payloads, sending commands, and receiving the payload heartbeat. The second server is used for the DevOps and logging purposes. At each stage, the payload sends its execution to the logging server. Since this malware is under continuous development, the attacker potentially uses the logging server to improve malware performance. Similar to previous campaigns involving groups such as Lazarus Group, you may remember the Lazarus Group. This campaign demonstrates a persistent and lucrative attack vector for various advanced persistent threat groups and threat actors. Through the use of employment lures, these actors can target individuals and organizations across the cryptocurrencies and Web3 Sapphire. Furthermore, this case highlights the evolving nature of the modular malware that employ highly sophisticated and evasive techniques along with the utilization of continuous integration and continuous delivery. Principles for the continuous malware development, of course. Organizations can protect themselves by remaining vigilant against phishing attacks. Furthermore, individuals are advised to remain cautious of social media posts or phishing attempts that offer job opportunities unless they are sure of their legitimacy. So using fake jobs, especially in this time, there's some sort of, as you know, humor, global crisis, economic crisis. So threat actors using the fake job advertisements mostly at this time. So we all have to be more careful based on the current economic conditions. Threat actors can expect to continue to heavily deploy employment lures to target those seeking employment. Meanwhile, organizations should also consider cutting-edge multi-layered defense and strategy and comprehensive security solutions, such as SOCRadar Extended Threat Intelligence can detect, scan, and block malicious URLs across the modern threat landscape. This was my last slide. We are bringing to our demo link in the chat. If you like to try SOCRadar demo, you can fill up the form and request for demo. So let me take a look at the questions. Do this show up when searching, or do they also infect Chris pop-ups apps? Are you talking about the industry with fake up jobs, Chris? Add malware. You show the searching slide. You mean this? That one, okay. Great. Yes, those are show up when you're searching. As you know, when you do the search on the Google, the first links are the ads links. So those are the first thing they come to your screen. Yes. When you click, no. When you just go to the Google and do the search, as long as you don't click the ad, you're not going to be affected. But when you click it, then you're going to be affected. Thank you for your question. I had Netflix account hacked. They changed my plan. My bank paid for me to. No red flags for the bank for. Sabina, I'm sorry to hear that. are affected by this attack. There is one question in Q&A, I guess. There is. Somehow I cannot open the Q&A, but I can see one notification in there. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Is there a publicly available blog to further study to attack paths presented here today? Okay, that's a very good question, actually. As I said, we are trying to create a community with you guys because I know some of the guys are with me from the beginning of the webinars. You are joining the webinar, asking very good questions, supporting us. Thank you very much for that. So we are trying to do better things for you. We are always thinking what we can do more. The other thing is, yes, I want to prepare a blog for this. Whatever I mention in here, I like to put them to the writing and put the links and all the documentation I have in there. This could be a Medium blog. I already have one Medium blog, SOCRadar #1 .medium.com. In near future, yes, I'm planning to do this. That's a very good question. Sure, I can put it here. Thank you, Joseph. That was a very good question. That's a very good idea. Yes, I'm trying to do that because I know you want to do your own research. You want to know the details because this is a limited time webinar. We are talking about the malwares and most of the things, but you need to know more details about it. You need to know IOCs. You need to know the tactics in details. Yes, I can understand that. Definitely, I'm going to put this all events to the one blog, blog, and you can see all the details and the links and whatever I found, I'm going to put there. And from now on, every month, I'm going to publish this blog with you, and you can see the specific in there, and we can talk about the details in the webinar if you like. Thank you so much, Joseph. Is there any other question? Thank you, Andre. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Again, with your help. Yes, about the dark web. Would you like the webinar about the dark web? Actually, Kamil, we have a dark web training in SOCRadar Academy. Maybe you can register in there and take the training. Thank you so much, guys, to having me today. I'll see you in the next webinar. I'm sorry, maybe very simple question. Do I understand correct? I can infect my device just to click the malicious link without the malware. Yes, David, you are absolutely right. You can infect your device just clicking the malicious link. You don't have to run it. You understand correctly. Yes, it for the information about the training, dark web training, Eren, maybe we can put the SOCRadar Academy link for the site, and he can go there and register if you have the link. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, George. Rizus, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone. I hope to see you in the next webinar. Yes, there is the link. You can see in the chat. You can just click the link. It is not a malicious link, I promise. You can just go there and register for the training, and you can get the details about the dark web. Okay, guys, you guys take care of yourself. Hope to see you. Do you have a Discord? Andre, that's a very good idea. Next time I'll bring you the Discord channel. You see, brainstorm is better always. Blog and Discord. In the next webinar, I'll bring to you. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a good day. Stay safe.